I sincerely hope that this will be the valuable and meaningful time that could make a positive difference in your life. My name is Johnny Gu. I'm Diamond Master and the Center Manager of Waikato Top. I have been in New Zealand over 20 years already. And for the past 18 years, I have been running an international education consulting business. Today, I have actually two careers, my education business and Atomy business. Atomy was founded in Korea 2009. Because of my education business, I traveled to Korea every year. And however, nobody ever introduced Atomy to me. Even my younger sister was already an Atomy member, but she didn't say anything about Atomy. Today, the things are very different. My sister is now my business partner, and she enjoying using Atomy products in Korea and is preparing to build the business together with me. After listening to the company presentation and products and marketing plans today, I believe everyone here fall into one of three groups. The first group thinking, what on earth this all about? The second group is thinking, can this really be true? And the third group is thinking, what shall I have for dinner tonight? If you belong to the second group or whatever, can this really be true? I encourage you to take the closer look at Atomy. As I mentioned earlier, Atomy was founded in Korea in 2009. The following year, in 2010, Atomy expanded to the United States. In 2011, it entered Japan, and 2012, Canada. Today, Atomy has headquarters and branches in 21 countries around the world. Including the countries served through our European operations, Atomy is active in 58 countries, and the people from 114 countries can register as a global members, enjoy the shopping through Atomy online platform. In 2018, Atomy launched in near country, Australia, and then in 2021, finally, Atomy New Zealand officially opened. The month after New Zealand launches, my wife strongly encouraged me. Actually, I would say she almost forced me to visit a health supplement shop on Victoria Street. As I was looking around the products on display, I noticed the skincare products with the name Atomy on it. Immediately, I thought myself, this must be an MLM products. Why? Because I have never seen products before, and also I have never seen any advertisement for it. But at that same time, I was happy to see it because it was Korean products. Back in 1996, long time ago, while I was living in Korea, I was first introduced an MLM company that I simply call Company 8. Someone already mentioned about this company. For a young man, but now he's old, not young man, young old, in the middle of 20s, I was a shocking experience. I remember thinking, can an ordinary person really earn this much money and enjoy both financial freedom and time freedom? I was fascinated. So I immediately asked the store owner to explain the marketing plan to me. Perhaps he didn't explain it very well, or perhaps I didn't understand it properly, but I couldn't really grasp the concept. Then something unexpected happened. Not good story. The COVID pandemic arrived, and then New Zealand entered the lockdown. Ironically, that gave me the perfect opportunity to spend more time at home researching Atomy. The more I studied the Atomy, the company, the more I realized that Atomy was very different from Company A. I discovered the company that I had addresses and improved many of the weaknesses commonly found in traditional MLM business. One example was the compensation system. During 1 year with the Company A, I earned approximately $150. However, During very first year with Arami, I earned almost $3,300. That was more than 20 times the income. That differences alone convinced me that Arami was fundamentally different. The more I researched Arami, the more convinced I became that this was not just another MLM company. It was a completely different business model. During the lockdown, movement was restricted, and meeting people face-to-face became very difficult. So I decided this is the perfect opportunity to really learn what Arami is all about. I began studying seriously through YouTube movies, videos, books, Zoom meetings, and conversation with my sponsors. As I continued learning, more and more information about Arami accumulated in my mind. Over time, I found myself growing into someone who could confidently explain the business to others. Of course, I experienced many rejections. To be honest, I didn't like being rejected. All of us, right? But I reminded myself that rejection was natural because people simply didn't know enough about Arami yet. That mindset helped me push through the difficulties and keep moving forward. Some people even say to me, "Isn't your education business struggling these days? Why are you selling toothpaste, shampoo, and cosmetics?" At that time, I asked myself the same question. I thought my education business already provided enough income to support my family. Do I really need to do this? But deep in my mind, deep in my heart, I was convinced that this business was not only for me, it was a vehicle that could help other people achieve both financial freedom and time freedom as well. Because of that conviction, even when others spoke negatively about what I am doing, I would simply encourage myself by thinking, they are saying that because they don't know yet. And so I continued. As time went by, I was incredibly grateful to begin meeting some truly valuable partners. One of the partners was a member of my church. When I first introduced Arami to them, they showed very little interest, but I didn't give up. I visited their home and invited them to my home and shared Arami products with them as a gift. Finally, I invited them to a Success Academy. That was the turning point. There, they saw the vision of a business. Since then, they have continued building the business alongside me and have achieved the sales master. Next month, they will become a diamond master. Another partner was someone I only knew casually. When COVID affected my education business, she was genuinely concerned about me. One day, while she and her husband were out for work, I had the opportunity to introduce Arami to them. Directly, I invited them to my house and share more information about Arami. To my surprise, right there, and then she said, "I want to do this business too." Today, she's also a sales master and is preparing to achieve Diamond Master this year. Woohoo! Yeah, this experience taught me something very important. People don't join because of pressure. People join when they can see the vision for themselves. That's why I continue sharing Arami with gratitude, one person at a time. To be honest, I had already been introduced to these types of business. The marketing concept of Company A, which I encountered in Korea when I was in the middle of 20s, left a strong impression on mine. Because of that experience, I continued to be interested in network marketing and then distribution business. However, I've never found a company that made me say, "This is it." In fact, I only stayed with Company A for about a year. The reason I quit was simple. The products were excellent, but they were too expensive. As a result, members rarely reordered the products on their own. To generate sales, I had to constantly call people, visit them, follow up, and persuade them to buy again. Even then, there was no guarantee that purchase would happen. Unless you were an exceptional, talented salesperson, it was very difficult to succeed. At that time, I was also running an English academy, so I eventually concluded that this type of business was not for me, and I decided to quit. Then I discovered LME. What impressed me was that LME had solved many of the weaknesses I had experienced before. Most importantly, the compensation plan was outstanding. In my opinion, it was one of the best compensation system available. At the same time, the products offered excellent quality at very affordable price. I became convinced that any smart consumer, when given a fair choice, would naturally choose LME products. My first LME product was the propolis toothpaste. For 26 years, I used the toothpaste called from company A. The reason was simple. I had a severe tooth wear, and whenever I used the other toothpaste, my gums would bleed and my teeth would become sensitive, and sometimes I even felt pain. But with that toothpaste, I was fine. So I continued using it for many years. However, after I discovered LME, I decided that I should start using LME products. So I began using the LME propolis toothpaste. At first, I wasn't sure if it was any different, but after using it for a few days, I noticed that my gums were not bleeding, there was no pain, and even bad breath was gone. I thought, wow, this toothpaste is really good. Then I took a closer look. The tube size was the same, 200 grams, but the price was less than half of what I had been paying before. There was simply no reason not to use LME propolis toothpaste. So I've continued using it ever since. Because of my international education business, I travel to Korea every year. Whenever I go, I visit a dentist friend of mine and get a scaling treatment. Dental care is quite expensive here, isn't it? Yeah, in Korea, it's much more affordable. However, during the pandemic, I couldn't visit Korea for 3 years. When I finally went back and had my teeth cleaned after those 3 years, the scaling was finished in just 5 and 10 minutes, just like before. My friends said to me, Johnny, you've done a great job taking care of your teeth. At the moment, I immediately thought, wow, this must be the thanks to LME propolis toothpaste. You take a shower, right? Everyone take a shower in the morning or evening. You use the shampoo, don't you? You apply the lotion. You take health supplements. You do laundry. You wash dishes. LME has all these daily, everyday essential products. All you need to do is switch the supermarket. You have been shopping at the LME supermarket. Up until now, you've been helping supermarket owner make money. But when you switch your everyday purchase to LME, you have the opportunity to become the one who benefits and earns from your own consumption. That's the beauty of LME. It's a business built around products we already use every single day. I first came to New Zealand 20 years ago as a missionary. I worked as a staff member at a missionary training center near Te Awamutu. Do you know where Te Awamutu is? Yeah. I wasn't paid a salary and relied entirely on financial support from Korea to cover my living expenses. However, the support was always insufficient, and after just 1 year, I had no choice but to leave. After that, By what I can only describe as a miracle, I was offered a position at a government-affiliated educational institute in Garden Place, Hamilton. That was where I first became involved with the international education industry. Later, I obtained a permanent residency and started my own business. I have been running that business, educational business, for over past 18 years. Since 2008, I know Raymond Peck. We are old friends, and also we are business partner. Through it, I was able to buy a house, purchase the cars, and provide a comfortable life for my family. I've been blessed with a lifestyle that has lacked very little. The truth is this kind of business is something many people can do if they are given the opportunity. However, it is primarily a business that helps me and my family live well. But when I discovered Atomy, I realized that this is a business capable of creating success for all entire community. Through the Atomy business, I began to dream dreams that I had never dreamed before. I now have a vision to establish the 9 churches around the world, support the 90 missionaries, and sponsor 900 orphanages. People sometimes ask me, why 9 churches? Why not 10? The reason is simple. My family name is Gu, and in Korean, the pronunciation sounds very same to the English words 9. Isn't that wonderfully symbolic? Yeah, I love things like that. Afterward, several other symbolic events happened through my Atomy journey that made me feel these dreams might actually become reality. Atomy New Zealand has 11 education centers, and our Waikato top became the 9th education center. When we separated from Auckland Top Center, we started with exactly 90 members, no more and no less. Then this past March, I became the 9th oral sales master in Atomy New Zealand. Thank you, yeah. And who knows, perhaps one day I'll become a 19th Imperial Master. This is my dream, yeah. When I look back at all these meaningful instances, they remind me that dreams often become with a faith. What once seems impossible now feels achievable. That is one of the reasons I am so excited about the Atomy business, not only for the opportunity it created for individuals, but for the impact it can have on families, communities, and even people around the world. Atomy is a true unique company. Its management object is customer success. Have you ever heard about the company whose primary goal is the success of its customers? For most of our lives, we have helped the companies make money and become wealthy. Now it's our turn. By using Atomy as a tool, we can build wealth and create a better future for ourselves. Today, there are 17 Imperial Masters in Korea and China. These individuals earn approximately $100,000 per month. The fact that such people exist is a living proof that this business is not just an unrealistic dream. At first, I assumed these successful people must have had outstanding educational backgrounds, impressive careers, or great wealth. But many of them came from very ordinary circumstances. Some were truck drivers, owners of struggling restaurants, people facing financial difficulties. What made the differences was not their background. It was their determination. They possessed a stronger belief in achieving success than most of people around them. That kind of conviction may be the greatest asset anyone can bring into Atomy business. As we moved into the age of artificial intelligence, many jobs will inevitably be replaced by robots and AI systems. Even the presentation you are watching right now was created with AI in just a matter of minutes. Living in such an era, I often wonder how people will achieve the financial freedom time freedom, and the long-term security. It is a genuine concern for many of us. Personally, I believe LME offers one of the most practical opportunity achieved today. Why? Because every product LME offers on everyday necessities. Products people use regularly and cannot easily live without. AI may be replaced certain jobs, but AI will never be the consumers of these daily essentials. People will continue to use toothpaste, shampoo, and skincare, health supplements, household products, and many other necessities. LME continues to expand its product range, and through its global one marketing system, the number of members continue to grow around the world. Good products, affordable price, and the growing membership base. When I look at those factors, I found it difficult to see why the business cannot continue to grow. LME asks only one thing of us. The company developed the products, managed the online system, handled the logistics, stores the inventory, ships the products, and calculates all the commissions. In a sense, LME says, we'll take care of everything. Simply use products, experience them for yourself, and share them with the people around you. Have you ever seen another company operate like this? No. These days, many people shop through Temu, Alibaba, Amazon. They are successful companies, right? But whether you make money or not is not their own concern. They are focusing on growing their own business. LME, on the other hand, encourages the people to use its platform and create success for themselves. Have you ever seen the company with that kind of philosophy? No. Through LME, we can use high-quality products at affordable price, reduce our household expenses, enjoy the benefits that comes from using good products, and at the same time, have the opportunity to create additional source of income. In other words, we save money, we experience better products, and we gain the possibility of building a better financial future, all through the same everyday consumption that we are already doing anyway. Less than a month after joining LME as a member, I received my first commissions. It's about $80 was deposited into my bank account. And I remember thinking, wow, this is real. I genuinely surprised. Then the commission continued to grow. I started receiving income twice a month and then every week. Little by little, my business expanded. And eventually, I achieved the ranks of semi-sales master and sales master. Later, I was given the opportunity to operate the Waikato Top Center. The more I learned about LME, the more amazed I became. I realized that this was truly a unique and remarkable business. My business grew in how much I learned, experienced, and understood about LME. I made a commitment to replace every product that my family could use with LME products. I also took full advantage of all systems provided by the company. I attended one-day seminars and success academies as consistently as possible, rarely missing an event. Through these programs, I learned valuable business principles and the strategy at no cost. I listened carefully to the experiences and the success stories of other sponsors and the leaders and applied what I learned to my own business. As a result, my business continued to grow. Today, I'm a Diamond Master and an Auto Sales Master. The significance of these ranks is something you will come to understand as you continue your journey with the LME. What I can tell you now is that every achievement began with your simple decision. To become a consumer, use the products, learn the system, and consistently applied what I learned. One step at a time, those small actions accumulate into meaningful results. Today, I believe everyone sitting here has come for one of three reasons. First, Someone simply invited you. You came without giving it much thought. Second, you are curious about and also thought, what is Atomy? Let me come and hear about it. Third, you heard that there would be something given away, and you came to receive it. Whatever your reason you may be, that's perfectly fine. I sincerely welcome every one of you once again. But what if this moment, right here, right now, could become an opportunity to upgrade your life? Not just the one level, but by many levels. Would you seize that opportunity? Or would you simply let it pass by like so many others? Are you truly satisfied with your life as it is today? The rent that has to be paid every week. The utility bills that arrived every month. Residual bill, somebody said. The unexpected expenses that seems to appear out of nowhere. The medical costs when family members suddenly become ill or are struggling with long-term health issues. The debts that must be repaid after business failure or financial setback. It often feels as though money is constantly pressing down on our lives. In many ways, it would not be an exaggeration to say that most of us have spent our lives serving money. But those who discover Atomy and find a vision and hope with it begin to dream of different kinds of life. A life where there are no longer slaves to money. A life where money works for them instead. A life with greater freedom, greater choices, and greater purpose. That is the dream that Atomy has inspired in many people. And perhaps today, it may be the beginning of a new dream for you as well. I believe most people would agree that if you want to create wealth, you need to have a business. To start a business, you normally need several things: the products or service, experience, and knowledge in the field, on online platforms or website. And most importantly, you need capital. Without this, most people would never even dream of starting a business. But Atomy is different. Through the everyday essential products that we already use in our daily lives, Atomy gives us the opportunity to become the owners of our online shopping business. It allows us to build a business on a global scale, reaching customers around the world. I also offer the possibility of creating the last legacy with an 8-digit member ID that can be inherited through future generation according to the company's policies. What reason is there to hesitate? Today, I would like to extend a sincere invitation to all of you. Join us in this exciting opportunity and take the first step toward future with a greater certainty, greater freedom, and greater possibility. Let us work toward becoming rich, not only in finances, but also in time and in meaningful relationships. The future is becoming increasingly uncertain, but together we can prepare it with a vision, purpose, and determinations. Atomy has given many people hope and opportunity, and I believe it can do the same for us. We are not meaning to walk with the journey alone. We succeed together, and we grow together. And as we succeed, we share that success with the people around us. Your future will be shaped by your choice you make and faith you have in your own potential. May today be the beginning of your new chapter filled with hope, growth, and opportunity. Thank you for being with us, and thank you very much.